Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about a new topic which is one of the very interesting, current and very favorite topic, that is money, banking and central banking. In this chapter we are going to learn 5 important aspects of the chapter. We have 5 learning objectives. First, we'll define the functions of money, identify the key properties that money possesses, and explain the official definitions of money supply. Second, understand why the financial intermediaries such as banks exist. Third, describe the basic structure and function of the Federal Reserve System. Fourth, determine the maximum potential extent that money supply will change following a Federal Reserve monetary policy action. Fifth, explain the essential features of the Federal Deposit Insurance. Let us begin with Bitcoins. Do you know what is Bitcoin? To mine a digital currency called Bitcoins, which is the money in the form of secure computer code stored on microchips or other computer devices. Some people go to considerable length. One individual's Bitcoin mining computer generates so much heat trying to solve the online mathematical puzzles for the mining Bitcoins that he keeps it next to the chimney flue in his basement. Another person's Bitcoin mining device pushed room temperature so high in his dwelling that he purchased a second air conditioning system. Most Bitcoin miners report that their activities significantly raise expenditures on electricity, often by as much as 100%. Why do people go to such trouble to solve the mathematical problems for locating the Bitcoins? And why the federal and the state government officials worried about growing use of Bitcoins? To understand the answers, we are going to learn money and its functions. Expert knowledge of monetary economics and monetary policy, risk management, financial institution is going to be one of the crucial important aspects to understand the world. In most countries, money is supplied by the central bank. In United States, the central bank is the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve not only supplies money and sets the price of money through a variety of mechanisms, but also regulates the banking system in United States. Did you know that money is indeed a part of our everyday existence? Nevertheless, we have to be very careful when we talk about money. One will say, I wish I had more money. Maybe I'll say, I wish I had more wealth. What do you think? Which one you'll choose? Which one is appropriate? Which one is smart? Money versus wealth. Money can be a kind of wealth, and there are various concepts relating to it. Well, wealth can increase greatly without any increase in the money. So what you'll prefer? Let us start with the learning objective 1. Define the functions of money. Identify the key properties that money must possess and explain the official definitions of money supply. I'll begin with the definition of money. Money is any medium that is universally accepted in an economy, both by sellers of the goods and services as a part of payment for those goods and services, and by creditors as a part of debts. You can see here there are like examples of money. This is actually the partial list of items that have been used as a money in the past. Native Americans used wampum beads, which is made from cells. Fijians used whale teeth. Some used tobacco. Cigarettes were used in the post-World War II. In Poland, and you can see goats, rice, boats, cigarettes, horses, iron, salt, pots, glass, feathers, whale teeth. All these are some of the examples of money. So let us discuss money as the medium of exchange. When we say that money serves as a medium of exchange, we mean that sellers will accept it as the payment in the market transactions. Without some generally accepted medium of exchange, we would have to resort to barter system. In fact, before money was used, transaction took place by the means of barter. Barter simply means a direct exchange of goods for goods. You can see here in the image, some are exchanging books for banana, maybe for chicken with other toast maker. So there are exchange of goods for goods. In a barter economy, the shoe maker who obtains a dozen water glasses must seek out a glass maker who at exactly the same time interested in obtaining a pair of shoes. For this to occur, there has to be a high likelihood of a double coincidence of wants for each specific item to be exchanged. If there isn't, the shoe maker must go through several trades in order to obtain the desired dozen glasses. Perhaps first trading shoes for jewelry, then jewelry for some pot and pans, and then pot and pans for desired glasses. Do you like this system? So, money facilitates exchange by reducing the transaction cost associated with the means of payment uncertainty. That is, the existence of money means that individuals no longer have to hold a diverse collection of goods as an exchange inventory. As a medium of exchange, money allows individuals to specialize in producing those goods for which they have a comparative advantage and to receive money payments for their labor. Money payments can be exchanged for the fruits of other people's labor. The use of money as the medium of exchange permits more specialization and inherent economic efficiencies that come with it, and hence greater economic growth. In this slide, we'll focus on 4 functions of money. Money traditionally has 4 important functions. The one that most people are familiar with is the money's function as a medium of exchange. Money also serves as the unit of accounting, a store of value or purchasing power, and a standard of deferred payment. Anything that serves these 4 functions is considered as money. Anything that could serve these 4 functions could be considered as money. Let us see how money acts as an unit of accounting. A unit of accounting is a way of placing a specific price on the economic goods and services. It is the common denominator, the commonly recognized measure of value. The dollar is the unit of accounting in United States. It is the yardstick that allows individuals easily compare the relative value of goods and services. Accountants at the US Department of Commerce use dollar prices to measure the national income and domestic product. A business uses dollar prices to calculate the profits and losses. A typical household budget regularly anticipated expenses using dollar prices as the unit of accounting. Now, let me say another way of describing the money as the unit of accounting. Basically, it serves as a standard of value that allows people to compare the relative worth of various kinds of goods and services. This allows for comparison shopping, for example. Let us take a behavioral example. Is money really just for record keeping? Economists have conducted experiments in which individuals could use either electronic tokens or record keeping system for exchange. The experiments show that money's role as a medium of exchange is more important than its role in enabling the people to keep the record of transactions. Another characteristic of money is the store of value. So let us see how money acts as a store of value. When we talk about money as the store of value, we are actually focusing on its purchasing power. The money that you have today can be set aside to purchase things later on. If you have $1,000 in your checking account, you can choose to spend it today on the goods and services, spend it tomorrow, spend it in a month from now. In this way, money provides a way to transfer value or wealth into the future. The next aspect is money as a standard of deferred payment. This is the fourth function of the monetary unit. This function involves the use of money both as a medium of exchange and as a unit of accounting. Debts are typically stated in terms of the unit of accounting, and they are paid with a monetary medium of exchange. That is to say, a debt is specified in a dollar amount and paid in currency, either by a debit card or a check. A corporate bond, for example, has the face value, the dollar value which is stated on it, which need to be paid upon the maturity. The periodic interest payment on that corporate bond are specified and paid in dollars. When the bond becomes due at maturity, say for the bond is due in the 5th year, the company pays the face value in dollars to the holder of the bond. Let us focus on the properties of money. We know that money is an asset. Why? Because it has some value. It accounts for personal wealth. Wealth in the form of money can be exchanged for another assets, goods, or services. Although money is not the only form of wealth that can be exchanged for goods and services, it is most widely and readily accepted one. Let us see money as the most liquid asset. Do you know what is liquidity? Liquidity is the degree to which an asset can be acquired or disposed of without much danger of any intervening loss in the nominal value and with the small transaction cost. Money is the most liquid asset. So, when people have money, they can easily convert the money to other asset form. For example, when you talk about liquidity, cash is the most liquid asset compared to the land or building, which takes time to be converted into cash. You have to find a purchaser, a buyer. You have to find the good deal where you can get the full worth of your building rather than losing any kind of money. So, the assets of any business can rank in terms of liquidity. For example, cash is the most liquid one. Then there is like inventories, securities, all the fixed assets. Land is the most illiquid asset. It cannot be easily converted to cash. When we hold money, we incur a cost for this advantage of liquidity. Because cash in your pocket and many checking or debit account balances do not earn interest, and that cost is the interest yield that could have been obtained had the asset been held in the form, maybe like stocks or bonds. So remember, the cost of holding money, that is its opportunity cost, is measured by the alternative interest yield which can be obtained by holding some other asset. What if a type of asset that previously had been regularly exchanged in active trading suddenly experiences a long period of hardly any kind of transactions? When those assets such as artworks fall out of favor, the trading flows decline considerably. As a result, those assets become highly illiquid assets. So here in this figure, you can see different kind of assets with the degree of liquidity. For example, currency and coins, they have high liquidity. Then transaction deposits, then certificate of deposits, all kind of securities like stock and bonds, cars, houses, old master paintings, commercial buildings, any kind of antique military hardware, they have low liquidity. There is some interesting question. What is the cost of holding money? Its opportunity cost? Well, it is the alternative interest yield which can be obtained by holding some other asset. The next question is, what backs money? Is it gold? Is it silver? Or is it the federal government? The interesting answer is your confidence backs your money. Our currency is called as fiat money, and fiat money is regulated by a government through Federal Reserve. Fiat money has nothing to back but debt. Our money used to be backed by gold and silver earlier. Let us see about monetary standards. In the past, many different monetary standards existed. For example, commodity money, which is a physical good that may be valued for other uses it provides. The main forms of commodity money were gold and silver. Today, though, most people throughout the world accept coins, paper currency, and balances held on the deposit as transaction deposits. Transaction deposits are checkable and debitable account balances in the commercial banks and other type of financial institutions such as credit unions and mutual saving banks. There any account in the financial institution on which you can easily transmit debit card and check payments without many restrictions. These forms of money, however, raise a question. Why are we willing to accept the payment something that has no intrinsic value? After all, you cannot sell checks or debit cards to many producers for the use of raw materials in manufacturing. The reason is that payments in the modern world arise from fiduciary monetary system. This concept refers to the fact that the value of the payments rests on the public confidence, such as payments can be exchanged for goods and services. Fiduciary comes from the Latin word fiducia, which means trust or confidence. In our fiduciary monetary system, there is no legal requirement for money in the form of currency or transaction deposits to be convertible to a fixed quantity of gold, silver, or some other previous commodity. The bills are just pieces of paper. Coins have a value stamped on them and today is usually greater than the value of the metal in them. Nevertheless, the currency and the transaction deposits are the money because of their acceptability and predictability of value. So as I mentioned in the previous slide that the currency and transaction deposits are the money because of the acceptability and predictability of value. So let us focus on these 2 points. First, on acceptability. Transaction deposits and currency are money because they are accepted in exchange for goods and services. They are accepted because people have confidence that these items can be later exchanged for other goods and services. This confidence is based on the knowledge that such exchanges have occurred in the past without any kind of problems. The second characteristic is predictability of value. Money retains its usefulness even if its purchasing power is declining year in and year out or during the period of inflation. If it still retains the characteristics of predictability of value. If you anticipate that the inflation rate in government is going to be around 3% during the next year, you know that any dollar you receive a year from now will have a purchasing power equal to 3% less than the same dollar today. Thus, you will not necessarily refuse to accept the money in exchange simply because you know that its value will decline by the rate of inflation during the next year.